Makeup Revolution has come out with 3 new palettes in their Icon line, and I'm very excited about these new palettes. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some close-ups, some swatches, and I'm going to be doing 3 looks and look with each of the palettes. Let's get into it. Let's start out with the first look of this video, with the first palette of this video. This is the Revolution, the Master Icon, and this is a palette full of matte neutral shades, and then we have 2 creams at the bottom. I'm gonna remove the little plastic from the creams, and this is the whole palette. This is what it looks like. It does look pretty basic, but I have a feeling like this is gonna be a very practical palette, like something you can easily dip into if you want to use like a single shimmer or something like that, and you want to just build a crease around that. I personally do love a boring look from time to time, and I feel like this is gonna give me that. I really enjoy the creams from Makeup Revolution, from these Icon palettes, so I'm gonna go into this brown one, and I have a feeling doing that this is gonna be a pretty smoky look. I'm gonna go into that brown one with a finger. In my experience, applying these with a finger makes them last the longest. I am already wearing a base, eyeshadow base, but this is gonna be something else to blend the matte on top of. And I just feel like the eyeshadow formulas in these palettes just work together really well. I'm not gonna apply this all over my eye because I feel like that would become a little bit too smoky for me. I'm just gonna blend out the edges a little bit with a clean finger. I just feel like these creams, they are a little bit sticky, but in the right way, just the right amount so that they like stick to the eye. And I do have really oily eyelids, if you didn't know, so I'm really happy if I find creams that actually stay on my eye. If I really apply these all over or apply them with a brush, it's a little bit more like crease prone. Now I want to go into this shade over here and just like blend out the crease. Gonna take a pretty fluffy brush and just blend in the outer corner. I think this is gonna be such a nice smoky brown look. I might add a little bit of shimmer at the end because I do love my shimmers. This I think is looking really good. I'm really liking that blend. Really liking how this is looking, but I just feel like these creams are just such a good base. Like this shows it. I really like how that is looking. I think it's time to go in with a lighter shade. I'm gonna go into this shade over here, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of a fluffy brush, and this is gonna be more in the inner corner. Just blending everything together there, and I'm also gonna use this at the edges a little bit, like so. I feel like that just looks a little bit cleaner. And I'm just gonna take this shade and I'm gonna use that on my lower lash line. This is also working well. All of these mattes are working well. I'm really enjoying this. This is really just to show you what you can do with these palettes, because I already know I really enjoy the formula, and this is just really, really nice. Can you imagine? I mean, it's not fall yet, but can you imagine this as a fall makeup look? I am really into that idea. And then for the inner corner, I'm just gonna combine, well, this is a very shiny palette. I'm just gonna combine these two. I think that the white on its own is gonna be a little bit too bright for me for this look. So it's gonna be a little bit of a mix. Yeah. I am really, really liking this. And now for the shadow liner, I'm gonna go into this dark brown shade. You could also go into this black for sure. Should I do a little bit of a mix? I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a mix. And I do like that the black is in here. Usually I'm not that into blacks in palettes, but I feel like with this one you can create a little bit more of a dark brown if you want. So we're gonna do a shadow liner with that mix, just smoking that out a little bit more. I'm gonna apply a little bit on the lower lash line. Am I actually liking a look with a little bit of black mixed in? I think I am. It is hard to do, but I don't always try as well. Maybe I should give it more of a shot sometimes. This is such a nice look. Even if I do say so myself. I don't always love my looks. Sometimes I'm like, what have I created? But I feel like this is such a nice one. And this palette is just really easy to use. Alright, and then this is gonna be the finished look. And I am really loving how this came out. I am so happy with the quality of this palette, but that is what I was expecting. I'm really into this. I love it with the gloss as well. I just think this is a perfect like transitional to fall look. It is over 30 degrees Celsius today here in the Netherlands. It is not feeling like it's almost fall, but I am feeling the vibes here. I think it's really cute. And then I just wanted to apply a little bit of the Jelly Jewels Glitter Stick by Essence in the shade 02 Diamond Dust. I just want to apply a little bit. I might regret it. I'm just gonna stamp a little bit in the middle. Yeah, that's really cute. Just a little bit. I'm liking this. And this is gonna be the finished look. I think this is super cute, really into it. Let's get into the second look. I am so excited about this second palette. I think the color stories that they've come out with in this new launch of the Icon palettes are just so nice. Like the first is a little basic, I admit. It's nothing too special when it comes to the color story, but this one and the third one, I am really into. Like these are really up my alley. So this one, which is the one that we're going to be doing a look with today, is the Cherry Icon. And if you know, you know. And you might know that I really love the Cherry palette from the, what was that range called again? This one, the Forever Flawless Cherry Rebel palette. I really love this palette. They are kind of similar in a way. Like they have kind of like a similar vibe, but this one has a lot more colors and it has some really interesting pops that just really like spice up the look. Let me see if I can hold these up at the same time without actually digging my nail in. Like so. Can you see it? Something like this. Okay, this is not very practical. Like so? Yeah, kind of, I guess. So we have cool tones, lighter tones, berry tones, purple tones. This one has more purple, definitely. I do see some similarities, but I think this one leans a little bit more almost bright. I think I'm really gonna love this one because I really like this one as well. Like the formula of that one is also really great. And this is not, I think, the exact same formula, but we're gonna do a look. We're gonna find out how I am gonna feel about this color story. Let me remove the little plastic for the cream shades. This light pink cream, like light pinky peach cream, is really like calling my name. Yeah, I feel like in a way this one is a little bit more romantic almost than the Cherry Rebel palette. That one also has kind of like gray tone, cool tone neutrals, and I feel like this all is very like pinky purpley. Okay, we're gonna start out with this shade over here, the Cherry Blossom, the Cream Blossom, and I'm just gonna apply that with my finger like with the first look and just use that as my base. Not too much in the inner corner, towards the inner corner. What is happening here? Is that an eyelash? And I think I'm gonna try and do quite a colorful kind of like purpley look. So this might not be the best base for that, but it could also really work for that because I do feel like this might brighten the colors up a little bit. Right, then I think I wanna focus mostly on this matte in the crease. It is just gonna be a little bit more of a warm, like aubergine burgundy purple. I think this is gonna be so nice. The shimmers, by the way, in this palette look amazing. I haven't swatched any of the palettes as I'm doing these looks. Some of them look a little bit more satin, but this one I think is gonna be very like shimmery and iridescent. All right, let's see how this one is gonna build on top of that cream. I do feel like it sticks to it, yeah. It's definitely not toning down a color. I love the shade for eyeshadow. It's just so nice. I do see a little bit of creasing with that cream. I did apply a little bit too much, I think. Can I tap that out? It's my fault. Definitely my fault. And then I'm gonna add some of that to the lower lash line as well and connecting that over here. So in the end, even though I feel like it's looking good, I do feel like that cream, like the amount of cream that I used a little bit too much. I could have put a little bit of a like thinner layer. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of like add some dimension to this, deepen it up a little bit. So I am gonna go into the deeper eggplant purple for the crease and deepen that up with it as well. Yeah, I think this is giving me the intensity that I want. All right, I'm gonna blend the edges a little bit with a bit of a fluffy brush, but I don't want to do that too much because I don't want to lose that intensity that I just tried to create. All right, it's time to go into a shimmer, and I feel like we have so many great options here, but I am just really curious to see what this one is like. This kind of like, it almost feels a little bit bronzy, a little bit maroon, and I think that one is gonna be really nice and shiny. Feels quite creamy. It has something a little bit peachy pink to it. It's not like super shiny, but it is. I'm always throwing things to the floor while I'm filming with my elbows, like whatever is on my table, I will throw it on the floor with my elbow. That's really nice. That is really nice. This is such a good kind of like Valentine's palette. This should have been part of like a full Valentine's Day collection. I think that would have been so cute with this palette. This is such a fun romantic look. At least that's what it's gonna be when I'm done. Okay, I think now it's time to get into this iridescent looking shimmer. I think that one is gonna be so pretty and ooh, a little chunky. Like there's a little bit of a chunk to it. It's probably gonna smooth out, but I feel like, oh yeah, that is really nice. Just look at that. It does have a little bit of a gray base almost to it, like grayish nude. I see a little bit of like golden peach, and then when you turn, it's like a really nice like purpley pink shade. I think this looks kind of like a multichrome. I see green, I see peach, and I see like purpley pink in it. I think it's not gonna look crazy shifty on the eyes, but it's gonna have some dimension, which I'm very excited to see. I mean, these palettes, they are like €9 each, so seeing something like a multichrome in very affordable makeup, it just always gets me a little bit excited. It feels like finding a hidden gem. Like they don't really advertise it usually like that as well. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, not too much. It does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. Oh, this is so nice. This is such a beautiful shimmer. This really just took it all to the next level. This is so nice. Okay, I'm really loving this look right now. I am gonna apply a little bit of this in my inner corner as well. I think it definitely deserves to be there, and I want to see if this applies. Why is there a cat hair in this brush? And I want to see if this applies well with a brush, because that's not always the case with more special shades. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited and I'm actually starting to whisper. This is so nice. This is so nice. Okay. Yeah. This is great. It's time for the last eyeshadow from this look. And for this last step, I choose this dark chocolatey brown, and this is gonna be my shadow liner. So we're gonna add a little bit of the neutral into this. What is this palette? I just feel like every time I look at this palette, it feels so familiar, but I cannot think of what it could be. I feel like the other palette that is based on the Master Matte by, was it Petrita or Makeup by Mario? One of the two. Like those brands in my head, they're basically the same thing. I know they're not, but they have the same vibe. Like it's one of those palettes. And then this one, I can't put my finger on it, but I'm really liking this color story. I don't feel like I have the palette. I love it. I love it with the shadow line. Like this is me in a look like you wouldn't believe. Like this is me. This is it. This is just, it's one of my favorite looks of the year. All right, here we have the finished second look, and I am really happy with it once again. I just think that the shimmer that I put in the inner corner just, it took it to another level. And I'm seeing the shifts, like I'm seeing a gold and kind of like a pinky purple. I think this look is so cute. I think so far this has been a very successful video. I am really happy with how this all worked, how this all blends together. Just this color story, the tones, the undertones, I think is so nice. It is time for the third and final look, and I might be most excited about this one. This palette looks so good. I have been staring at these shimmers on multiple occasions. I have forced myself to not swatch these yet because I want to do that with you, but I have been looking at this palette thinking how gorgeous does it look. So this is the palette, the third palette, and once again a very shiny palette. So this is the Celestial Icon, and it is just kind of like these muted purpley shades and then with blues, kind of like jean blues, but I see some blue shifts in the shimmers as well. This is looking so good. Like, this palette is up my alley. I am once again gonna free creams with you. There they are. We have two very light ones in this palette, the pink and kind of like a white, is it off-white? A little bit of an off-white shade. I think for this look, I'm not gonna go into any of the creams because I've done two looks with creams kind of like focused around creams in a way. The first one was really focused around a cream. I think I just want to see what these shades do on their own, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to choose. I think I probably want to try this as an inner corner highlight. I think I'm gonna build out the crease with these like purpley mauvey mattes, and then I'm gonna do a blue liner. So I'm gonna start with this shade over here, and I'm already wearing an eye primer. This is really, like, it does pull purple on me. It's kind of like a taupey purple. Really love the pigmentation that I'm immediately getting. Like, this is already giving me some depth. Alright, I'm also gonna put that on my lower lash line. By the way, the shade from yesterday's look, the look that you just saw, it stained a tiny bit. Like, that really bright pinky purple stained a little bit. Gotta be honest about that. Like, the red dyes made my eyes look a little red. And then I'm gonna go in with this purpley brown shade. Just gonna deepen up the outer corner with that, just with the same brush. I love these tones of purple because it's basically nude, but it's also purple. That's really nice once again. And also gonna apply that to the lower lash line. We want a smoky look. Smoky and then super shimmery. I'm going overboard a little bit with the smokiness. Alright, let's do a little bit of cleanup on my eyes. Let's see what we want to do. Let's see what I want to do with these shimmers. This purple one, it looks like it would have like a shift to green, like purple to green. Like this, I think is gonna be a special shade. Dropped another brush. Alright, here is what we are working with. This is so beautiful. Like, I see a little bit of yellow in there as well. Purple to green, absolutely stunning. Oh, it seems to be a little bit of a toppery shade. It has a really nice texture to it. Beautifully sparkly without being like chunky. That's really nice. That's really nice. Ooh. I really like shimmers like this. We are gonna go into one of these iridescent shades. This looks like a mint, like bluish mint iridescent, and this one looks like a purple iridescent. Or should we go into this one? Should we go crazy? Because in the last look we also had kind of like a purpley iridescent. I'm gonna swatch both of these because I want to see what is going on. These are the shades. This one looks a little similar to the other shade, and this one looks like a really nice bluish shade, like blue to purple. Blue, purple, and green I see in here. So this is that bluer one, and this is the purpley one. This one is a little bit less shifty, I would say, than the shade from, can you see anything? This one is a little bit less shifty. This one definitely is a shifty, shimmery one from this palette. This one is just a purple, and it doesn't have all that kind of like gold and peach, so far as I can see now, as with the other palette. But both look really beautiful. I think I wanna I think I'm gonna go with the blue. I really want to see how this looks on the eye. Might not be my first choice if I were just doing my makeup like casually, willy-nilly, not thinking about you guys. Right, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this one on my finger, of the blue one. And I think this is gonna be a little bit more chunky, so I'm gonna be careful and smooth that out. That is so bright. That is really like in your face bright, really easy to smooth out. I really like the shimmer formula that they have in these icon palettes. It is just really nice. All right, time to get into this pastel blue. It looks like such a good shade. If this works well, I'm gonna be really happy. I'm gonna be really excited about that because I do love like pastels in the inner corner. Which is one of the things that gets me excited when it comes to doing my eyeshadow. I like that it is still quite a muted blue. It's kind of like a really light periwinkle. This is so nice. And I love how this ties into that blue shimmer. How pretty is this? Okay, I put a little bit of something in the waterline. And the last step for this look is gonna be this jeans blue, dark blue, navy matte. Just gonna do a little bit of a smoky liner with that. You know me with my smoky liners. I cannot help myself. It is just what I do. So I'm gonna take a flat brush and smoke it out. I just love the combination of these shimmers with this blue. I think layering these is giving the look so much dimension. I'm gonna add a little bit of blue on a lower lash line as well. I love the color combination in this palette. I don't know if it's inspired by anything, if it's supposed to mimic anything, but this is like, if I could think of a color story, it would be probably something like this, maybe with some pinks thrown in as well. I just love kind of like this mix. And it's kind of like colorful, but it's also kind of like neutral. And this is gonna be the final look. I am really happy with how this came out. I really love the combination of the kind of like purpley nudes with those really shimmery, kind of like shifty shimmers. The shimmers really didn't disappoint. I really love the shimmers in this palette. I just actually swatched all of them, and this one definitely has the best shimmers of this range. Like that cherry palette has some more kind of like satiny shades. Of course, it has a topper, but this one really brings the dimension and the shift in multiple shimmers. I feel like we have two kind of satin-esque shades here at the top, but I feel like for the rest we have a lot of options to bring the dimension. I'm really excited about that. So once again, a beautiful look. I am really excited. And let's just quickly get into my overall thoughts on this range. I think they did a great job. I think they really added something to the line, some different color stories, some things that they definitely didn't already have. And I already knew that I really love the formula that we have in the icon palettes. I have tried all of the icon palettes that they've had so far. I really like the blendability of the mattes. I feel like the creams are really easy to work with, not prone to creasing. It kind of depends how you place them, but yesterday when I did the cherry look, my eyeshadow didn't crease, even though I applied quite a bit. I feel like after I patted it out just a little bit, it was definitely fine. I feel like it's just kind of like a cream to powder eyeshadow, really easy to use. I think they do a great job with the shimmers. The satins, I think, are decent, and then you can kind of like mix and match with the shimmers if you want something a little bit more out there with a little bit more texture. Like they also give you the option to use a topper, which is for me definitely the way I like to use satins. I feel like this is just what we know and love from the icon palette. The packaging is a little so-so, but they're only €9 on Boozy Shop. And I just really love the looks that I've done with these. Like these three looks are some of my favorite looks that I've done this year so far. That really tells you a lot. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.